Good morning, everyone. We welcome you to Coffee with the Community. I'm the Director of Communications for Liberty Public Schools, Dallas Ackerman, and this is our monthly public engagement event, and so glad to be joined this month by Mr. Gary Majors. He's our Director of Safety and Security, but I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to provide you with a few reminders. This is also the opportunity for us to build our audience here on Facebook Live. Speaking of Facebook Live, if you're seeing this right now on Thursday at 9 o'clock, you're watching this live, and we're glad you're with us. If you're watching this later, then you're watching the replay, which is available not only on Facebook, but also on YouTube, and we would encourage you to also visit our Liberty Public Schools website, which is www.lps53.org. You can go to our Staying Connected tab and then click Coffee with the Community, and you can not only watch our previous coffees, but also see the different meetings that are forthcoming here during the 23-24 school year. Speaking of which, quick reminder that we will have our next coffee coming up on Thursday, November the 9th. That will be a great presentation, I am sure. That's from Steve Anderson and others, as he will provide a facilities and probably more importantly, a construction update. If you've been in and around Liberty Public Schools, you probably have noticed lots of activity. The tennis courts at Liberty High nearing completion, starting to do some well into dirt work at the baseball fields at Liberty High and Liberty North. More of that will be coming. I know some bids just completed. Projects will be getting underway in 24 at several of our campuses, and we'll be sure to keep you updated along the way. But Mr. Anderson will be here on the 9th of November, same time, 9 o'clock here on Facebook Live, to provide a facilities and construction update. We look forward to that. Today, by the way, is Red Thursday, so little prop. More than a prop, the Chiefs coffee mug. Good luck, Chiefs, tonight. Mr. Gary Majors is here, and he is with us. Going to provide us a great update over the next 15-20 minutes or so. And I also wanted to remind everyone, if you haven't had a chance, Gary was one of our first guests on our new LPS podcast, In the Loop with LPS. We had a chance to sit down for about a half an hour, and I'm sure a lot of the information he covers today we covered on that second episode, I guess. And if you would like, we encourage you to check things out on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. It is In the Loop with LPS. So there is my shameless plug for our new LPS podcast. So without further ado, year number 9, 10, let's go with it. He has done some great things for us here in Liberty Public Schools. He is the first full-time Director of Safety and Security, and lots of great information that he will share with you. Also, final reminder too, be sure to leave any questions down in our comments section below, and at the end, I might chime in with a few of those to toss Gary's way. So be sure to leave those down below in the comments section. So thanks again for joining us today. And without further ado, Mr. Gary Majors.
Thank you, Dallas. Well, if you've listened to one of our Coffee with the Community presentations in the past that I've spoken, some of this will be somewhat familiar information. It's a brief overview. I'm going to really focus in on some of the newer stuff that's occurred just within this past year, but I'll kind of go over the rest of it as well, just for those who haven't seen it before, can kind of get caught up where we are. So in safety and security, our goal has always been to maintain a safe and secure environment for all students, staff, and visitors. We want an environment that is conducive to learning, and we feel that feeling safe in your school environment creates such an environment. So that's always our goal as we move forward. This is something we've talked about before, but I think it's important because it hasn't changed. And that is, when we look at security at Liberty Public Schools, we look at a layered approach. It's not a one item, one method fixes everything that has to do with security. It's operational, it's capital investments, it's the various systems that we have, it's the partnerships that we have both internally and externally, and then a biggest part of what we do is relationship building, and we have found that is helps us a great deal in keeping everybody safe and secure throughout the district. So when we talk about operational, oftentimes we're talking about staffing. We now have 25 armed security officers throughout the district. One SRO, which is a school resource officer, who is a Liberty police officer, Officer Cronin. And then we have 9 unarmed safety monitors that are at the high schools and Liberty Academy. And then a couple administrative assistants that helps us kind of keep everything running. Dallas Talk, I've been here, I think this is my 9th year here. When I started 9 years ago, we had no full-time actual employees, armed security officers in the district other than myself when they hired me. We did use a couple of SROs, and then we used off-duty police officers sporadically throughout the district, and those officers changed every day. And now we have the 25 armed security officers. I think it's been a great improvement. This is sort of our organizational chart, and I throw this up here. I know it's probably hard for you to see. If you go to our website, if you go to Liberty Public Schools website and go under the Safety and Security Department, we have it on the website. What's kind of important here is all the ones in that blue, kind of in the middle there, those are all new positions that was just added over the last year. And in essence, we added a armed security officer at every single one of our schools. Prior to this year, we had armed officers in the high school full-time. Last year, we added armed officers in all of the middle schools full-time. And this year, we went ahead and expanded that program to add those officers into the elementary schools. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a bit. Also on our website is our security team. So if you pull it up, you'll see each of our officers that are currently working and a very brief bio about them. And I'm telling you what, I'm very impressed by the quality and level of experience and staff that we have brought here to be work in security. I would really encourage you to just kind of take a look and go down. I mean, I'll just throw for an example, if you look at Chip Taylor, he's the internal security officer out at Liberty Academy, and as it says here, this is his 2nd year here, but he did 25 years of law enforcement experience with the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. He had worked homicide, drug unit, he worked in patrol, and retired with the rank of sergeant on the police department. You can just pick any of them that you want, and you can see the great depth of experience that they have. Ray Staley, he's one of our new officers that works out at Lewis and Clark Elementary, and I tell you what, I've heard nothing but phenomenal stories about the way Ray has been interacting with the kiddos out there. But he actually did 30 years with the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department, and worked in drug enforcement, the gang squad, homicide detective. He worked in patrol. Right below him, for example, is Ron Riley. He now works out at Liberty Oaks. I tell you what I like most about Ron is Ron retired from the KCPD as well. He has a total of 35 years of law enforcement experience, and he spent a good portion of his career in the traffic division, various assignments within the traffic division. And we occasionally have traffic issues here with pickups and drops off and congestions, and so Ron is now my very much go-to guy to come out and take a quick look at that, and he's really great about offering suggestions on how to improve that type of traffic flow and resolve traffic issues that we've had at various schools. In addition to that, he's a great, very approachable person for the students out at Liberty Oaks to go to and interact with. But I encourage you just to flip on down. We have a few empty spots where we have coming soon. As far as photos, we have a couple of people we've hired, and they're just waiting for their retirement date to show up to actually come into place, and we're filling those spots temporarily until they get here. But again, just feel free to look down and take a look at some of these people that are here. Another part of the security thing is our capital investments. As many of you know, I think we've, with the assistance of my boss, Steve Anderson, and certainly Steve Aldridge, our Director of Facilities and Maintenance, along with the support of our board, as well as the support of our citizens who have voted bond issues for us, we've been able to do a really great job of state-of-the-art secured entries. Basically, you come to one of our buildings, you just can't walk in. And we actually have 2 or 3 points at which we can detain you and keep you from entering into the rest of the building. Along with that, we've done a lot of exterior perimeter upgrades. Our camera systems have now been all upgraded from the analog cameras to digital cameras, which gives us a much better view with our cameras, and same thing with our radios. We've converted from analog radios to digital radios, and that is, or in the process of doing that, finishing that process now, gives us a great improvement in our communications capabilities. Some of the systems, I talked to you, that's another layer that we do, and we have quite a few systems that we have in place. Visitor Pass Management System, as you all know, when you come to a building, you have to present a governmental ID. That in turn runs you through about 175 databases across the country to make sure that if there is a sexual offender on a sexual offenders list, that they just can't walk into our building. We can also use that system if we've had issues with somebody in the past that maybe is on our no trespass list, that can alert us that hey, there's an issue here, and maybe we need to get security involved. Some of these other things I'm hoping you're familiar with. Incident Tracker is just a reporting, a way that we can document incidents. Sprigeo is a great tool. If you're not familiar with it, ask your kiddos about it. I'm sure they are. And it is a way to anonymously, if you want, give tips. And you can do it on any one of our websites. The little logo is on there, and all you do is click on the logo. Quick couple drop-down menus. You can type in what you want. You can make it anonymous if you need to. It automatically gets shipped out. The principal of the school that it's about and their staff, admin staff, will get it, and they address it within one school day. Some of these others, Critical Incident Management System is just a way to handle a crisis. We work and use the same system that the law enforcement, fire department, hospital staff use. We do that training on a regular basis. We do threat assessments, a formal process. If we have a student who maybe has made a bad choice or has said some concerning thoughts, that we can get in and get a good assessment of how big of a threat they actually pose. We really started this open door protocols last year where doors were being propped open by students, to be honest, propped open by staff. Sometimes it was a mechanical issue, but we decided we didn't want to have any more prop doors. We actually started a program called Stop the Prop, and we have virtually eliminated prop doors by doing that. Keeps us all much safer. I'll just quickly go through some of these others. Emergency response protocols. We do security surveys on every one of our buildings at least once a year to see what we need to upgrade and improve. Let me see what else is on there. I guess one of the important things is we do have a 24-hour on-call phone now that is manned by one of our security people who can respond if needed. That number is 816-736-7777. So partnerships, this is obviously important. This is not something, and you'll hear me say this again later, it's not something that we do by ourselves. Security is not a one person or one department's thing. It's something that we involve everybody within the district. We involve our students, and we involve our parents, and we certainly involve the community. It starts obviously with our Board of Education, who I must say has been nothing but supportive of every security issue, idea, recommendation that's been brought before them. They have just been standing by us 100%. Certainly, Liberty Police Department, we rely on them heavily. We talk to them on a daily basis, also with the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. Missouri Highway Patrol, because we use a lot of those officers off duty, and they come in and fill in when I have one of my people that are off sick or on vacation or can't be there. They've been phenomenal, and they are just top-notch people to work with. Same with the Clay County Sheriff's Department. Certainly Liberty Fire Department, Kansas City Fire Department, LAFI, Liberty Alliance for Youth. We work closely hand in hand with them. We also belong and actually founded the Metro Area Safety Directors Association, where we meet on a quarterly basis with safety directors like myself from all over the metro area, and we share ideas and we pass along information. Students, staff, community, all part of the partnerships that we work together to make this happen. One of the things, this is just an example, these are 4 little trifold brochures that you can get at any one of your schools. This was an example of a great partnership. I think it was last year, after an unfortunate school shooting in our country that was highly publicized. I had a parent reach out to me and said, what can you share with me that I can share with my student about active shooters in their school? And I thought, well, what a great idea that is. We hadn't ever done anything to educate parents on how and suggest how they might want to talk to their children about this. And then I thought, it needs to be in an age group, because you're not going to talk to a kindergartner the same way you're going to talk to a high school student about active shooters. So we have brochures for kindergarten through second grade, one through third through fifth, middle school, and in high school. And again, it's just 4 or 5 questions you can ask or things that you can share with your students to give them the confidence and that they're going to be okay in the school. So, relationships, this is probably one of the places that we do the most good and where we glean the most benefit from positive relationships. Standing in the middle of this crowd of students is Ben Orth. He's actually our internal security officer out at Heritage Middle School, and he's a rock star out there. Everybody knows him. He knows everybody, and he's always engaged with the kiddos. And I would argue that I would argue that all of our internal security officers are as engaged. It doesn't take them long for the kids to just kind of attract to them, and vice versa. And it's amazing what takes place in those types of relationships, the information that's exchanged, the way that they can relate to the kids. I have countless examples of that in action. I'll share just a couple real quick ones with you. I was speaking about Officer Ron Riley earlier out at Liberty Oaks. First day of school, I think it was, maybe second day of school, we had a young student who just was afraid to get off the school bus. And so Officer Riley stepped on and had a little conversation. Next thing you know, they're coming off the bus hand in hand, and everybody was smiling. The only issue was when the student went to class, they wanted Officer Riley to sit with them through the class. So it was just a great relationship building, and we get that all the time. Another example actually occurred last year at a high school where we had a young person who was having very much an issue, an emotional issue that was causing a lot of drama in a very public place in a hallway. And several people were unsuccessful in calming the student, but when the internal security officer came up, she's a supervisor now, Officer Kim True, and because of the relationship she had with this student, was able to really just put the hand on her back, and all of a sudden everything was good. So the last thing is relationships. We be here, be you, belong. That's kind of our motto. It involves all of our people. And the only last thing I want to say is, as a security reminder, is it's very important for you to reach out to us and share any information you have, and don't be afraid to reach out to us so we can help. Dallas?
Awesome. Thank you, Gary, for that presentation. We want to thank everyone at home for watching. And again, reminder, coming up in November, we'll be joined by Steve Anderson, who will give us an update on district facilities and all the construction, not only taking place, but getting ready to take place in the coming months and years. So again, thanks for watching here this morning, and have a great rest of your Thursday.